The Hyundai Sonata has always been a very solid choice in the mid-size family four-door segment. Now with the hybrid version, does it make it a better choice, a worse choice, or just a choice? That's what we're going to find out here today on Rumblestrip.NET and 10-minute test drive. As we approach tougher and tougher CAFE regulations, we're seeing manufacturers get very creative with some of their powertrain options to try and maximize this economy and really push fuel economy to places we never thought they would be. What we're testing today is the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid. It's your regular Hyundai Sonata done up as a hybrid. It doesn't have the leading edge hybrid technology, but it's a pretty solid effort. It gets good, well, really good fuel economy in the general sense. From a hybrid standpoint, it gets fairly decent fuel economy. Our real world numbers pretty much match the sticker, and that's run about 40 city, 35 combined. And that's, and about 35 on the highway as well. So we've been seeing those numbers in our driving. It drives fairly well. The steering is over boosted at low speeds, fairly comfortable at higher speeds with weight, so they've done a good job with that. The interior is actually quite good. One of the things that Hyundai usually does well is they equip their cars very well, very full featured for the price range. And, we're talking under $32,000 for this particular model, so you can't argue with that. You have a leather type material, heated seats, no cooling, which in some ways surprises us in a hybrid, because you would think you'd want to take as much effort out of like having air conditioning to cool the cabin, and the electric motors would use less power to cool seats. But maybe we could be wrong on that, but that's our initial thought on that. Acceleration is actually quite good on this thing. Between the regular gasoline motor and the electric motor, this thing scoots pretty well. There is a bit of a lag in the sense of it usually uses the electric motor off the hit, and then the gasoline motor tends to really pick up once you're into the throttle, maybe going 5-10 miles an hour, and then you really feel the acceleration. So it's not slow. It gets around in traffic just fine. This has the navigation system, the full BlueLink touch system, and SOS, and all the good stuff that Hyundai has done there. The materials in here, like we said, are good, although there is just a little too much hard plastic in some areas. You can tell this starts at a lower price point, in the low to mid 20s, and you can see the cost savings here and there. And in other cars at $30,000, we've seen better interiors. The design is fine. It's just maybe the quality of materials need to be bumped up just a tick or two. Backseat room is quite good. We went out to dinner with some friends and stuck a couple full-size adults in the back, and they had more than enough leg room. The trunk room is compromised somewhat by the battery pack. We'll roll in the picture here, and you can see that there's a sizable chunk taken out by the batteries there. It does shrink it. Does that affect anything real world? Maybe if you're really stacking up with groceries and things like that. But other than that, we haven't had a problem with it. Your results may vary. If you like the Hyundai Sonata, I think you're really going to like this vehicle, because it's everything that the Sonata is. It's a very competent car. It's comfortable to drive. It's very quiet. We've been actually able to achieve EV power, driving on EV power at speeds as high as 65 miles an hour. It's more sort of I can't say we were coasting, but we may have been at a slight decline. But, you know, even driving around normally 40, 45 miles an hour, you can manipulate the throttle to glide and run it in an EV for, you know, a mile or two without too much of a problem. We are in EV mode right now as we, you know, at a stoplight here. So obviously stop start kicks in, and we accelerate away. We're in EV, and now the gasoline engine is kicked on. So yeah, you can get away, and it's quiet, and hopefully you can that comes through here in our recording, just how quiet it is. Big glass sunroof. It's an enjoyable car, and at $30,000 to $32,000, fully loaded, it's kind of hard to argue with from a value standpoint. Do you get your money back with gas savings versus purchasing non-hybrid? You know, you're going to have to sharpen the pencil and put pencil to paper and figure out the numbers for yourself, because that's going to vary for everybody. But if you want a car that's going to, you know, if you're willing to pay a premium just to have a car that's going to have exceptional gas mileage, or, you know, really good gas mileage, it's not as good as the new Accord Hybrid. With the Ford Fusion Hybrid, well, there's the advertised numbers and there's the real world numbers. We haven't had a chance to drive the Fusion Hybrid to see how those numbers stack up. But against the Accord Hybrid, it's not going to be as good. Camry, it's a little bit better than Camry. So, you know, it's a solid effort. And like I said, if you want a hybrid version or a hybrid car, or you're just looking for something that will get better fuel economy and can carry a family of 4 or 5 in comfort, or just something that you have to put a lot of miles on and you want to be comfortable in, it's not a bad choice.